Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today we're going to talk about suspenders. Why? Because a suspender has a certain place in a survival planning. We're going to talk about that after what I'm going to say now, and that is, if you're interested in detective stories, there will be a link to my in the description. There will be a link to my book called Bloody Crosses. It's a detective story. It's in Dutch, so if you're interested, take a look. So, suspenders. So yeah, you would say, why you're wearing something the thing that my grandpa wore? Well, there are certain things, advantages to a suspender than to a belt. In the three biggest things that I actually can think of is, first of all, if you're in a survival situation, whether it's a bug-in, a disaster, a long-term disaster, a war, the thing is that is going to happen is you will lose weight. Even if you are the best prepper, the best stock prepper there is, you should lose weight. Why? Because if you don't lose weight and everybody else in the area does, they will find it suspicious that you might have food and they will come after you, to especially the bad elements and the desperate people. So if you're losing weight, the problem could be that your pants will get too big. Why don't you wear a belt, you would say? Well, I come to that in a minute, why a belt is not always a good idea. But yeah, suspender is, how do you say this, not only for keeping your pants up, and in case belts are a little bit hard to come by. What do I mean by that? Sometimes the material to make a belt is not available already, but a suspender is something that you often can rely on. Another thing that a suspender does is for climate control. What do I mean by that? Well, if you have a belt going around your body, then your pants are are closed off on the top. But what happens is when your body heat from within your pants starts to rise, because that's what heat does, it's stuck here, and the temperature will get higher. So during work, or during times where it's very hot, during the summer, whatever, that could be a little bit annoying to get sweaty here. That could turn into thunder ties, so to call, rashes, perhaps sometimes even fungus problems. So with the suspender, you have some room where the heated air can flow upwards. So that's another thing you can do. Another tip: if you're going to wear a belt, that could cause some problems for certain people or for doing certain works. And what kind of a problems? Well, if you do it too tight, then it can cause digestive problems. Sometimes some people get how do you say this, back problems from it, and it's also cutting off the blood flow, and also for the fat into your body, that it cannot reach the underside that easy. So those are several things, physical problems that could happen with a belt that is too tight. The rule of a belt is you have to put one finger between the belt and your body at least, but you don't have that problem with a suspender like this. So another problem that can help with suspenders is carrying a backpack. The problem that I often encounter when I'm wearing a belt is as you know, if you're going to use a bug-out bag with a strap for your hips, what I often have is that the strap of the belt is going. I have to make it tight, but the problem is when I'm wearing a belt, and I usually wear more thicker belts because more durable, it will squeeze even more onto the belt, and that can cause some rashes, some friction burns, especially when you're walking. That could become a problem. And with the suspender, you can keep your pants up, and the suspender is not in the way of any place, even in the back, you would say, but there will be friction in the back. But that's not really the case, because you have to leave some room at the back of against the back. The back is not fully resting against the body, but there is some slack, if you can see beneath it, because everything is resting on the hips. So that's another benefit of a suspender in my opinion. And it's also a good alternative when you lose your belt or you have to use your belt for something else. And another thing, this is something that I find funny. I've seen some people wear those paracord belt, but once they have to use the paracord from the paracord belt, then they don't have a belt anymore. So that's something that you really need to think about when you're going to buy something like that. So yeah, this was just a small video about wearing suspenders. And another benefit of suspenders is, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of fashionable, I think. Especially when you wear some old suits. Sometimes I go cosplaying as a Peaky Blinder and I'm wearing my belt, my suspenders. So yeah, I don't know. It gives us some sort of American pioneer look to you, I think. But that's out of the case of survival. These were the points that I wanted to make about suspender. If you got any other uses for suspenders that I don't know about it, perhaps you can use it to turn this into a bow or something in a case of emergency or whatever. Please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn, and like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you in the next video.